You can stop it now.
So that's how we started the class. Now, just to give a background in 5 minutes about, again, I think it's good to always reiterate why the thoughts are getting generated. So someone has sent a message. So, yeah. So just to recapture, the thoughts are generated through what is the origin of thoughts? The whole discussion is basically about origin of thoughts, from where are the thoughts coming, and then what is the basis of those thoughts, and how can we reprogram our mind or recondition our conditioning, original conditioning, so that the way the brain processes those thoughts can be changed and or can be removed. Thoughts can be removed or unnecessary thoughts can be blocked and only necessary thoughts are allowed to flow. So that was the whole discussion about. Now, the thoughts are coming from the sensory organs because the sensory organs are exposed to the external world. And all the signals which are captured by the sensory organs are sent to the brain in form of an electric signal because the neurons are the or the electric wires, uh, saying differently, are connecting the whole body is connected through neurons. So there are, I don't know, millions of neurons which are connecting each and every organ. And इसको बंद कर देगा. नहीं, ये door. So the neurons are connecting all the organs, and the brain is the central processing unit, which is basically controlling all the functions, body functions, including the thoughts and all. So brain is giving the commands, and when brain is giving the commands, those commands are also traveling through the various nerve system. So body is completely connected electrically, and it is processing whatever the commands are coming from the brain for its functioning. So there are autonomous functions, there are non-autonomous functions, which are conscious functions. So there is subconscious activity which is happening in the body, which is automatic, which probably has been designed where we don't have to intervene. But there are other things which is external to the body, which is now brain is processing, where we have a so-called a free will, or we have our intelligence, and we have a decision making to see whether what we are doing is right or wrong. So that's how the brain is processing. Now, those external stimuli, all the external stimuli which is coming to the brain, this is what the subject of discussion, because that is conscious, and those conscious decision which we take are completely depending upon how the brain is programmed in our upbringing to process those signals, which we call thoughts. Now, every input which is coming to the brain through these through those sensory organs are basically inputs. Scientifically, every input will have output because these are electric signals. So there's an electromagnetic output, and all these signals, because they are energy, the flow of energy, because they are carrying a signal. Signal means it is carrying some code, the message, and the carrier is the electric signal. So it is having an electric field. So when the output is produced, there's a constant energy field which is being generated. One is generated through our internal functioning or a subconscious functioning, and because there is a constant flow of current in the body. Current is flowing constantly. Now, what we have to see, that there is a current which is required for the normal functioning of the body, and there is a current which is not required, which is what we are concerned here, that what kind of thoughts brain is processing, generating, which are not needed, and they become harmful. That energy which is created, negative energy, if it is harmful, not required, that is the one which is acting on the body, and that in turn leads to many problems in the body, like what we call stress. These are the words we use, but we don't analyze it scientifically. So if you see all this, if you do all this analysis a little more scientifically and not emotionally or not religiously, then you will understand this whole science of thought generation also, and what is the impact of thought generation. Now we all know, understand that problematic thoughts are causing a problem to us. So now we are here to see how can we remove those thoughts. So science behind flow of thought, generation of thought, I have explained in brief. Now we'll talk what are the reasons for a generation of thought. Why can we have a positive thought from some same signal from some particular sensory organ, and how we can have a negative thought also. So that all depends on how each individual is conditioned. So we'll look at conditioning, we'll understand conditioning in short, and then we will come to this session, which has been preceded by so many other sessions we have gone through. So this my flow broke. So this conditioning is upbringing, basically the upbringing we go through, and the various factors which influence the programming of the brain is basically we call dharma. So if you see, all this we are teaching is nothing new. The absolute truth, the theory of functioning of the body is nothing that somebody is inventing. Our search is only a discovery of the reality, because we are now living in a influenced condition, influenced by the society, influenced by so many impurities, influenced by so many brainwashing. The society is going through brainwashing, and we accept those narratives, and we create some different goals in life, and we chase those goals in life, and the whole premises on which the human is functioning in a community has completely deteriorated over a period of time due to the negative influence created by different sections of the society for their own vested interest, which we don't realize. And in the end, we are not knowing who's doing what, why it is happening. But eventually we know that we are in a stressful situation. And that's when some of us start questioning that what is going wrong in us in our life, why we are so stressed, why are these thoughts coming, and then we start our own search, and we discover, okay, there is some way to understand this. Somebody can read Upanishad. There is a class for Upanishad also happening. So somebody can read Upanishad, somebody can read another book, somebody can read so many books by Krishnamurti, by Annie Besant, by a theosophist, and somebody can do their own search also. But the own search is the best way to find out, because with books our analytical ability is little hampered. In our own search, we do our own analysis. We do a lot of analysis. But when we read a book or listen to someone, our analysis is less. Last week I was in Krishnamurti Foundation, and he was giving a lecture about analysis and observation. He was telling we start analyzing very fast. We don't observe. So observation is the first step. So in my book, I have written a method that we should constantly be observing, and observing a lot. Through observation, what happens? We collect a lot of data. So more we observe, we collect the data, and don't start analyzing it, because quick analysis is a judgment. We get into our conditioned judgment mode. We are analyzing it with our own conditioning. But when we observe, we leave the conditioning aside, and we collect the data, and then we do a fresh analysis. When do a fresh analysis or introspection and contemplation, then we are able to get a better answer, which is unbiased, because we are constantly biased by our conditioning. So whatever we are saying is actually through a bias. But when you go into a search mode, analysis mode, observation mode, contemplation mode, or whatever you call meditation, you are doing a deeper analysis, which is unbiased, not biased by our ego or by our past knowledge. So we try to become wise. We use our intellect, we use our intuition, and we use our analytical ability. Keep aside the knowledge, old knowledge, dogmas, rituals, and then we get the right answers. So that is something in the whole process. Coming back to what are the qualities on which the thoughts are created is basically our conditioning, which is based on all possible human qualities, whether we are caring, whether we are greedy or not greedy, egoistic, not egoistic, compassionate, non compassionate, empathetic. Are we angry? We get angry if somebody does something, or should we be empathetic? So when something happens, when we react, so all these are reactions. The first thing, what the brain produces is actually a reaction to all this. Now, how are we reacting? So reaction is something, I'm using this word just to explain that which is being produced is also a reaction to our signals. Now, how are we reacting? Are we reacting based on, jealousy, or are we not jealous? If we are jealous, how we react? If we are not jealous, then we don't react. So the idea is to understand how these tendencies or qualities or dharma, gun, whatever word you use it, are tuned in us. And the whole sadhana, what we call sadhana, is self-inquiry, atma chintan, which is basically used, is the method given in all the scriptures also, and all the founders of theosophy or Krishnamurti, everybody is telling that you come here, open your think tank, start thinking, go deeper, go into silence, go in the nature, do this kind of analysis, and find out what is going wrong, and then start working on correcting it. So this is basically, this is what is sadhana. Sadhana is not just doing nam jap. Sadhana is not just doing mantra chanting. Sadhana is not just going to the temple every day, but that is also not wrong. I'm not saying that that is the only sadhana. Mantra chanting, listening to bhajan, going to a temple is also a good activity. The whole idea is that our Sanskriti, our culture has created so many things which are good. So these are good things. The whole idea is that we don't do anything bad. Going to temple is better than going to a mall. Going for a satsang is better than going to a party, or for a restaurant. Uh, Listening to chanting is, or listening to bhajan is better than listening to another Bollywood music. So it is our choices. We have been given choices what to engage in. And accordingly, the mind starts working in that direction. It starts moving away from unnecessary activities. So those are activities. And then there is a self-inquiry, which is at the mind level. There is something at the gross physical level which we do in our life. And there is something at the mind level. So both are there. Both are good. By saying that going to temple or chanting is not needed, all that is needed. Even our festivals are designed to create a lifestyle. So understand the importance of those in our life, and understand what is not needed in our life, which we have been doing. Somebody comes to our house, some relative comes to our house for a few days, and you say, let's go out somewhere. So where do you go out? You don't go out to a temple. You say, we'll go to the fort. But probably if going to a fort is also okay, that's a literary activity. But somebody will say, we'll go to have a drink outside. So that may not be a very nice activity. So what choices we should make is very important. And we should not be influenced by what the society is telling. We have this tendency of getting influenced by the society that, and if I do this, I will be acknowledged like this. So we also have a problem of social identity, that if I do this, if I go somewhere, if I meet so and so, this is my social status. So we are worried about our social status also. So we are worried about a lot of external things, and we are not giving time or priority to our internal development. So that's another important thing. We feel that we are very busy. Most of us give excuse that we are very, very busy. The priority to something very important, the food for thought, food for the brain, food for the soul, is kept aside. And that's a problem, and we are conditioned to live in that kind of a mud. दलदल में रहने की आदत पड़ गई है. So anything, if you try to change that, and we fall sick, we get different kind of problems, health problems. But when it is when will you get triggered to change your priorities is the question which should be asked. That whatever, am I really sincere about finding the cause? Am I really living the kind of life I should be living? Am I really living where I should be living? So we all the people from villages, small cities, they tend to go to big cities. That's also a status symbol that, I'm living in this. Somebody goes to US, so it's a big status symbol for the whole family that my son is in US or I am in US. So these are success factors, but we don't realize these are not the real factors which define our happiness, which are needed for our real happiness, for our real existence. So coming back to these qualities, last time we discussed couple of qualities of comparison, jealousy. How jealousy do we do introspection frequently, at least once in a day, thinking about the various thoughts which are going on in our mind, thinking about different situations which happened in the past few days. Forget too much in the past, but even if you pick up some situations in the past few days, or pick up any thought which has been constantly bothering you, and start analyzing the presence of these qualities, and then you realize these thoughts are actually coming because I was jealous, and then I shouldn't have been jealous because I'm jealous. I'm comparing with some of my cousin brother, comparing, or I'm worried about like I have expectation and I'm worried about my child not doing correct way. My child is having a problem, or my spouse is having a problem. My spouse is not doing what the spouse should be doing. So these thoughts are coming out of expectations, and we feel that the whole world should be. We are constantly judging everyone who are matter to us in our life, and we feel that they are not doing this, they are not doing that, they did this, they did that. These are the most of the thoughts are coming like this, that why did he or she did this, why did he and she said that, why did he shout at me, why did she do this. So I'm not giving specific examples, and I'm sure we all face these things every day, morning to evening. Sometimes we are very happy in the morning with our wife or husband, but evening something happens and we are completely annoyed with the wife or husband. And sometimes we are constantly upset with the way our child is behaving and not listening to us. So there is a constant negative force created by that constant thought, which is constantly bombarding you. It's like Pakistan started shelling the border and not stopped till next day. So those thoughts are also like there's a shelling happening in your mind. The rockets are flowing, bombs are flowing, and you just don't know how to get out of it. So the problem is, why are we reacting to those individuals' behavior? Should we be reacting to them? By reacting, will it anything change? Have I done my job? Have I done my job as a father? Then why should I worry about my child? I can only tell my job, I can only do my karma. So now we come to the karma and dharma. So my karma is my thought and action. So my thought is, my karma should be focused on what is my present responsibility. If my present responsibility towards grooming my child is over, my child is now 35-year-old. I can't groom my child now. Whatever I had to do, I have done. That child is going to behave like that only. There's no way out now. If I have three children, one is very well behaved, one is mediocre, one is adverse. Now, what can you do? It is their destiny. Their destiny cannot be changed. Whatever you do, there'll be some devils in the family. And all these devils in the family are coming to teach us that how to be patient, how to not react. And if you ask this question only, should we be reacting to the external world? This is the question we don't ask. The first question is, should I be reacting? And by reacting, what is happening? That person remains like a monkey, but it is my peace of mind which is getting affected. Let that If I have produced a monkey, let there be one monkey in my house. I have produced one deer, let there be a deer in my house. I have produced a bird, let there be a bird in my house. The monkey will remain monkey. I have produced it. I was destined to produce a monkey. Be happy. Let that person behave like a monkey. That monkey will someday become a deer also, because that monkey has her own path. The donkey has her own path. So whatever we have produced in the family, they will behave like that. So focus on you not reacting. Where should be my focus? So if you talk about meditation, meditation is not there that you sit for 15 minutes and you do some kind of trick, some technique, and you think problem will be solved. It is not that. Meditation is a state of mind. Meditation, if you see in our Sanskrit or Hindi, is dhyan. So we should be always focused. We should always be attentive towards what we are doing. If we are not doing anything, then we should switch off. Why should anything bother us? Why should my dhyan be somewhere else? Why should I be paying attention to what others are doing? I can only pay attention to my karma. And that is what the karma, law of karma says, just focus on your karma. And if you focus only on your karma, don't you think you will be happy? Because you will do that thing very well. If I am focusing on something else, that I'm cooking food, probably I'll put more salt, less salt. I'll probably not cook the food well, because the energies I'm putting in what I'm doing is actually getting wasted somewhere else. The energy which is required, the focus, dhyan which is required to do that job is actually diverted. So my energy is actually the force. Thoughts are forced. These are forces which are acting. They will act on someone. And the thoughts also travel. There's a whole science about how the thought travels. So my energy is getting dissipated and misutilized while I'm doing something else. My focus is somewhere else. Partly my focus is somewhere else. Or maybe 60% it is somewhere else. For someone, 80% it is somewhere else. For someone, 30% somewhere else. For someone, 0%. So shouldn't we go towards 0%? So do we even think like this? That why I'm thinking I'm doing this? Why I'm thinking about others? Why should I react? Let anyone do anything. Anything. That is their karma. And no one can change their karma. Every individual can change their own karma only. They cannot change anybody else's karma. So this kind of contemplation and introspection is really needed to understand that what we are doing wrong. Why are we reacting? On what did we react? What was the basis of my reaction? Expectation. A lot of basis on expectation. And because I'm expecting, and not, we have to analyze, should I be expecting? Why should I be expecting? Why should I expect that my child should behave like this? Maybe at 15 year, 10 year, it's different the way, because you are supposed to be grooming the child. Then it is different. But when the child is 25, when the child is 35, then your time is over. Your time to groom is over. Now the child will not listen to you. At 5, the child listens. 10, child listens. At 10 or 15, the child is also watching you. If you are speaking lies in the house, the child is learning how to speak. We laugh sometimes when a young 3-year-old, 4-year-old imitates. But see what is happening. The child is constantly watching and learning from us. A child is learning. There is a learning phase. When the learning phase is over, and you are only the teacher, school, house, friends, whatever the child is going through exposure, the child is constantly getting programmed. And once that time is over, then nothing can be done, because the programming is done. Now they are on their own. Now they are operating. Hello, Maruti ji, you said something. So we are actually constantly reacting, and we have to really think that should we react? And if we reacted, why did we react? Was there an expectation? is having expectation in this particular situation, right or wrong? Whom I am reacting to? If I'm reacting to my wife, if I'm reacting to my husband, should I be reacting to my husband? Should I be reacting to my wife? I can only tell them if they are doing wrong, politely, once, twice. After that, you can't get angry, because then you are pushing your expectation, and you have to accept that everybody has their own way of behavior, nature, and that is also constantly changing. And as we grow old and aged, those qualities become more and more rigid, becomes more difficult to change. It can only change the day that person realizes that they need to change. Anyone can change, very important, at any time in life, the day they realize that something is going wrong in their life, and they want to change, and they are making an effort to change sincerely. Only those people can change. If my wife or husband is not behaving in a correct way and I think I can change them, that will never happen. If we work on our own change, because we are also not perfect, then we can probably set an example for others. And we are not here to be certified by the society. No, neither our neighbor should certify us. But we have to see that my karma are aligned to the dharma, so that I am not doing anything which will annoy my neighbor, not to meet his whims and fancies, but if I am doing perfectly what I should do as a neighbor, then my neighbor will never have a chance to raise his finger. Same is the case if I'm in the profession. Same is the case if I'm in the house. Keep doing your job. If you keep doing your job, if suppose your wife is telling, I want to do more shopping, you can just politely deny that. So if you feel something is not required, you can always deny that. And you can evade that. You don't have to be pushed by anyone external just because they are very close to you. So you don't do wrong karma because somebody is forcing you to do wrong karma. You keep doing your karma and understand that all your karma is aligned to the dharma. Now the most complicated problem here is when we say that how to be aligned our karma to perfectly to the dharma is a puzzle actually. Because now this session is very important in the sense we discuss few qualities: jealousy, comparison, expectation. But if we make a decision on just by contemplating on few qualities, we will not get the right decision. It is very important to understand each and every quality. All are connected. All are connected. Like we should not be harming anyone. So some decisions are little complicated and we have to see them very holistically. And that's why we say sometimes you have a dharam sankat. And we all have. I also have my dharam sankat. Dharam sankat, where I'm not sure whether I'm doing something wrong or wrong. But if you listen to your inner voice over a period of time, go in silence, you will get the answer. Our conscience is constantly giving us the right answer. But our mind, which is influenced, still not pure, is still not able to make the correct decision. So it's about purification of the mind. Purification of the mind is completely aligned to the dharma. It is purely acting based on the pure qualities of each and every dharma. Or you can say Purna Vairag, full detachment. When do you achieve full Vairag? When you say you have got the full Gyan. What is Gyan? Wisdom. If you are 100% wise, then you will be automatically Vairag. Vairag doesn't mean that you become a sadhu. Vairag is a mental state where you are detached from all expectations, where you are detached from all external things, where you stop reacting to everything. You focus on your karma. And that's Vairag. So you have to list down all the human qualities. In fact, I've done in my book, I've made something called Human Mirror, where I've listed all 45 qualities and also put a scale of 1:10. You can sit down with that chart, do an analysis. Where is your quality? Is it 1 or is it 10? You will know which qualities are actually bothering you. You will actually, by this exercise, you in your home, you can take a piece of paper, write down all the human qualities: egoless, selfless, joy of giving, nisward bhav, nishkam bhav, empathetic, compassionate, caring. I mean, I don't remember, but so many qualities are there. And if you list all of those qualities, if you can list down 40 odd qualities of human: hardworking, not lazy, and understanding destiny. So if you list down all the qualities and you start marking yourself, where do you stand? You will come to know what is the problem your mind is giving you, why it is giving you, from where it is coming. It is as simple as that. And if we actually do this, if you can really do this, no more lectures are needed. Frankly, you can start your own analysis slowly, slowly. And next part is, once we do this exercise, the second exercise is that I pick up any thought which is bothering me. Suppose some situation in my house, which is generally common to all of us. Some situation in my house is bothering me. Start analyzing that from this quality, that how is my perception being created? How is my brain creating certain number of thoughts in this situation? And why? What are the trigger points? Is there a jealousy? Is there a problem of expectation, desires? Even if suppose if you start looking at your desires, and Vairag is a state of desireless. Now, desire is something different from needs. We have basic needs. So, have we truthfully identified our basic needs? And do we know, do we understand that I have desires which are above the basic needs? So, am I greedy? Because if I have desires, I'm greedy. And when I'm greedy, I have desires, I have expectations. So, all these are linked up. So, even if you start catching up your desires which are bothering you, suppose you have a desire to buy a BMW. I don't know how many will be having it. We don't say that. But sometimes, someday, suddenly one desire will come. Like I had a desire of, I still have one desire. I was thinking last few days that I'm still having one desire. You know, that total purification never happens. And I'll tell you why. It's very funny, but I'm telling, because we all have our inner desires. We don't tell anyone. I have a desire to buy this car. Which car is it? Small one, Mini Cooper. I have this desire. It's like a childish desire, but it's not a desire which is bothering me. But I have this desire has been there in my mind, which comes off and on. Whenever I see a Mini Cooper, I said, I wanted to buy a Mini Cooper. So, we have a desire, but luckily this desire is not bothering me because I'm not getting driven by the desire. I'm not creating some plan to do that. But, we can have some desire, and that desire will start acting on us. And, for no reason, there are thoughts coming because that's some stupid desire in us. Somebody will have a desire, I have to go to Mount Kailash. Okay. Now, going to Mount Kailash, there are many issues. First of all, what will you achieve by going to Mount Kailash? Why do you have to go to Mount Kailash? You think some magic will happen in Mount Kailash? So, okay, you can go. Is your health allowing you to go to Mount Kailash? Do you have enough money to pay to go to Mount Kailash? Are you aware of what health issues can come if you go to that 5,500 meters? Have you ever experienced going to 5,500 meters at the age of 60? So many issues are there. We are not aware, but there is a desire. Suddenly the desire comes. Why didn't you go to Mount Kailash when you were 40? Why are you planning to go when you are 70? So now probably in this life, this desire will not be fulfilled. Now, if you still have a unfulfilled desire, you will have a reincarnation. Do you want to come back? So if you think from another point of view, are we thinking that I don't want to be born again? Should I fulfill all my past karma fruits, bitter or sweet? Should I just finish everything and go away? Do we ever think that, am I working to ensure that this is my last birth? How many of us think that this is my last birth? Am I making any effort to ensure that I don't come back? So what am I doing to ensure that? Do I take pain as a pain? Do I take suffering as a suffering? I'll give you one example. I was in Theosophy Adyar, second week of the program, and one day I had this kidney stone and I was in pain for 2 hours. So there is a doctor in the campus, Dr. Revati. She came after 2 hours. By the time my pain had actually almost gone, and then she gave me an injection, and I thought it is the injection which has taken away the pain. For 2 hours, I was in extreme pain. And stone pain is like, renal colic pain is like, a fish out of the water. वो मछली जैसे तड़पती है ना, so that it's like that pain. But I can tell you, I was actually enjoying that pain, because if you see, that is part of your karma, and all the sufferings makes you strong. And there are many positives in the sufferings. There are many things which suffering is happening for many reasons. If you analyze that suffering come and it is teaching you a lot of things, but we see suffering as a suffering. अरे ये क्यों हो गया? Why is this happening? But we don't see there are many learnings. I don't want to reveal how I benefited with that 2 hour of pain. I'll give you another example. In 2011 or 12, I think 2012 January, I met with an accident. I was cycling. I met with an accident at Maldhakka Chowk, and I had a fracture on my left foot bone. I was on plaster for 6 weeks. My wife used to work and my daughter was in class 12. And now I was not very happy that my wife is working, because my daughter is in class 12 and there's nobody at home, because my wife used to come back at 6. And during the board exams, it's important that somebody should be in the house. So my father was in the house, but my father was maybe 80-year-old. So I saw this incident of getting a fracture as a boon in disguise, because for 6 weeks I was at home looking after my daughter. I was there with my daughter. So I was actually very happy. And fracture is what? It is a time-bound event. It will heal. And I could also sleep a lot. I had 6 weeks of holiday. I was spending time with my daughter. So I think what more beautiful can happen with a fracture? But somebody will be, running to a doctor. I never go to a doctor, whatever happens. I never go to a doctor. I had another fracture in 2019. Not really a fracture, but a tendon Achilles failure. I was playing badminton. Everybody said, we'll take you to the doctor. I said, no, I will not go to the doctor. Doctor will tell you rest. I will rest myself. Why should I go to the doctor to listen to that rest? And he'll put a plaster. I said, I will rest, keep my foot in that position. And I was recovering very fast. So I didn't go to doctor. We react to pains, we react to suffering. And if you stop reacting, you will see that this whole world is a drama and you are not part of the drama. We are entangled constantly. By reaction, we get entangled in the drama. It's our test. The universe gives us a test that somebody, your relative will react to you. How will you react? Somebody is provoking you. Now, ultimately, your spouse will provoke you. Because when the spouse is provoking, we are bound to react. It is not easy to not react. That is our test. That is our test of detachment. Now, why detachment? Think about this, contemplate about this. What does attachment do? Is attachment making you happy? And why should there be attachment? Like I was teaching in Spain, and this lady asked me, if I'm not attached to my mother, that means I'll stop loving her. So it was like a silly doubt, because loving anybody is nothing to do with attachment. Attachment is only control. Attachment leads to expectation. Attachment is leading to possessiveness. And we don't understand, we actually don't belong to anyone. We come and exist in a social system, and we have certain responsibility as per our roles and responsibility. But we get attached to it. We start possessing people. We start controlling them. We start expectation. And after expectation, we try to control. Then we try to manipulate. Then we get angry. Then we get frustrated. Then we get depressed. Then we become anxious. So see, one negative trigger triggers all other points. So one thought will lead to 1,000 thoughts. And this is what is happening. So if you don't understand attachment, detachment, expectation, possessiveness, controlling nature, are you trying to control because of your expectation? Are you telling I am her mother? No, I need to, she should behave like this. Now your time is up. If my daughter, my own daughter is 30-year-old, if she doesn't listen to me, she may stop talking to me, but it's okay. I can't control her. I can't tell her again. I've told once. I can't tell my daughter second time. My job is over. Had she been 10-year-old, I would have even given her a slap. I did give her a slap at 17-year-old because she was not filling up forms for her admission. And had I not slept, she would have actually not gone there. But sometimes you have to take, but the possibility of taking such an action is reduces with time. As a child grows up, there are certain things which you just cannot do. And now the way society is changing, it's more and more difficult to have that kind of control in the child. And also what kind of education we are giving. Look at the schools children are studying. See the difference between a child who's going to these schools and a child which is going to maybe Krishnamurti school. What difference these schools have, what kind of teachings are happening. If you see Rajghat school, I'm seeing some of the videos about Rajghat school, how the students speak about the way children are studying there, the way they are being taught, how those teachings of our own theosophist in any best school are being implemented in that school. I bought two interesting books from Krishnamurti Foundation, though I bought another set which is also very nice. It's a set of 13 booklets. It's really beautiful. I read 2, 3 of them. One is on insecurity. We will talk about insecurity also in this session. Insecurity, fears. I have not covered those areas. And there's one book about educating the educator. I found that book to be very interesting because in my housing society, somebody said, because I'm conducting some series of lectures in my society. I'm conducting means I'm organizing. It's not that I'm only conducting. Bhaskar Tendulkar ji also came to my society, gave a lecture on Introduction to Theosophy. We had another lecture on from a doctor. So I'm organizing many lectures in my society, and I want to do it in other society also because these are all literary activities which are very helpful, which are much needed to the society now. So Bhaskar Tendulkar ji also came and gave a lecture. So the point is why I'm talking about this book, Educating the Educator. In my society, one of the ladies said we also should have a lecture on on the parents, how to do a parenting a teen. Yeah, that was the thing. So I found this book is also needed, though there are people in Theosophical Society because it's an organization. There are people in schools which are run as any basic school, but are those teachers really have understood theosophy, and are they really implementing? Anyway, this is another issue to point to discuss some other time. But what I'm trying to bring, our children are going to different schools. Are we putting our children in the right school, or do we have really right schools available? How are we grooming them? Do we even tell our daughters and sons that what is married life, what is marriage? Yesterday, I was seeing my own video on arranged marriage. I make a lot of video on my channel. Now I'm not making, but I've made a lot of content. A lot of content is on now social things also. So I was talking about arranged marriage, and yesterday I was watching that video myself because sometimes I like to watch my own videos also, just to remember what I said. So arranged marriage, do we teach our children what is marriage? What are the duties in marriage? What is the importance of education? And why should somebody work? What is the need to work? What should be the work? What should be the goals? These discussions actually don't happen in a family. If anybody does it, it'll be great. They can always tell. But if we don't do that, this is something which is grossly missing in our own house itself. So we are creating products ready for the market, but actually not ready. And now we are facing the music. Somewhere we have lapsed. I don't blame my parents. I never blame my parents because I see things very differently. But I come across a lot of young people who blame their parents, which is actually not good. Because whatever it is, I feel parents did their best within their understanding of what they are doing. So we all have an intention. If our intentions are good, we are bound to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. There are parents who have not achieved something, but they want the children to achieve and they want to force that. So there is immense pressure on the child. So these are all day-to-day examples of our life, that how we are unreasonable to not just ourselves, but we are unreasonable to others. And in being unreasonable to others, we also become unreasonable to ourselves. So directly and indirectly, we are unreasonable to ourselves. And then we get into stressed, negative thoughts, worries, anger. Some people are suffering from constant anger. Some people are suffering from constant depression. I'm talking about outcomes. Some people are suffering from low esteem. Some people are, because they are constantly comparing. So low esteem will happen. What does it need to compare? Instead of looking at your own skills and abilities, we are trying to copy others. Somebody is good in something. You look into your own abilities and skills, which we don't do. So we are comparing, we are judging others. So we are actually very external. We don't know what will give me happiness. What are my where is my creativity? What should I be learning? What should I be doing which will make me happy? But it is not about running away from responsibility, because karma is very important to be understood. Karma is my responsibility. My responsibility is not controlling someone. My responsibility is what I'm supposed to do as a mother, father, brother, sister, son or daughter. I have to understand my responsibility. When I go to a company, when I'm in a job, when I join the company, they give a sheet to me in which my jobs are defined and I have to do those jobs. In house, where is that sheet? Who has a sheet? Is your daughter having a sheet when she gets married? Do we give her a sheet? Have we groomed us? How many of us don't teach our son and daughter to even do household jobs? Today, so many women don't know how to cook. So many men don't know how to manage finances. So these are vocational trainings which are required for a happy married life. So I will now stop here because I think I've spoken a lot, and I will let the audience only speak. If they have any doubts, we can discuss that. Yesterday I was seeing one video on mind, and I thought we will talk about mind. If you want to also hear about my experience in Adyar or Krishnamurti Foundation, I had very interesting experience. I'll be happy to talk about, share that, because this session can keep happening. This will get more intense and more deep and difficult to digest, because I feel even 45 minutes is enough. There is a lot of food for thought conveyed. But if you have something easy to discuss to make this whole session more digestible, more interesting, then we can do that. So I have few things like I want to leave a question to you, which we can discuss next time. What is mind? We say peace of mind, calm mind, this mind, what mind. If anybody can explain what is mind, it will make an interesting discussion, because why I'm saying this is going to trigger a questioning process. The whole sadhana is about when we do a contemplation, we are triggering
reacting to the thoughts.
But what is mind? Can you hold your mind? Can you operate it and take out your mind?
Yes, your reaction.
So then why do we say mind? We see mind as a physical object?
We store up those reactions.
Hmm?
We store up those reactions.
It's a sum total of those reactions. Yeah. But actually, it is a brain only. Brain is creating all the thoughts, and somewhere in the brain it is getting stored, and then brain has to act on it. So that force of each thought will act on the some of the organs, because that power you have generated with that thought, positive, negative, it is going to act. So there is actually nothing like mind. Mind is our own creation. If there are no thoughts, there is no mind. So we say there should be no mind. Meaning, there should be no thoughts. Meaning of no thought means only those thoughts which are needed for the body. So there's nothing called mind actually. Okay, I leave it to others to. Anybody has something? Any question on that?
हेलो, नमस्कार सर।
या नमस्कार।
आपकी बातें सुनकर हमें बहुत सारी चीजें याद तो आ गई हैं, पर
जी
उसको इतने इतने सीरियसली लेना चाहिए। इस पे माइंड थोड़ा मजबूत हो रहा है।
जी
और आपने इतने सारे पॉइंट दिए, सब मेडिटेशन के पॉइंट लगे मेरे हिसाब से।
जी
उन चीजों पे मेडिटेट करना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि डे टू डे लाइफ में ये सब चीजें जो आपने बताई, सब
जी
हर परिवार के साथ होता है।
जी जी
कुछ एक्सेप्शंस हो सकते हैं,
जी
पर होता जरूर है।
जी
तो अब आपने जिस हिसाब से बताया,
जी
अभी हमें समझ में ही नहीं आया कि 1 घंटा कैसे पास हो गया। ऐसा लगा कि 10-15 मिनट ही मैं घड़ी देख रहा था कि इतना जल्दी कैसे खत्म हो गया।
जी
तो टॉक बहुत अच्छा रहा, उसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और इस बात पे हमें सोचने में मजबूर कर दिया कि इन चीजों को हमें आप सीरियसली लेना है।
जी जी
अगर थियोसॉफिस्ट बनना है तो
जी
इन चीजों को हमें डे टू डे लाइफ में देखना और सोचना और मेडिटेट करना बहुत जरूरी है।
जी जी।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
थैंक यू। हाँ, मतलब वही पॉइंट है कि हम ये सब चीजें डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, बट अगर हम इस पे थोड़ा टाइम देके कंटेम्पलेट नहीं कर रहे हैं। आप तो उज्जैन से है ना?
सर उज्जैन से।
तो उज्जैन में तो बहुत बढ़िया बढ़िया जगह हैं। मतलब आप तो संदीपनी मुनि के आश्रम में जा सकते हैं,
जी हाँ, जी हाँ,
और उज्जैन के आसपास इतनी अच्छी जगह है।
जी हाँ।
और उज्जैन के पास मक्सी गांव में वो प्रहलाद टिपानिया जी रहते हैं, जो कबीर के भजन गाते हैं। कभी उनके पास चले जाइए, मेरा नाम लीजिएगा, वो मेरे अच्छे मित्र हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा।
तो उनसे कभी भजन, उनके यहाँ जाके भजन सुन लीजिए। उनके यहाँ
बिल्कुल।
प्रोग्राम होते रहते हैं।
हम्म।
तो कबीर को भी सुनिए तो बड़ा मजा आता है। वो
जी
एक
जी।
अलग तरह का सत्संग है। तो अभी मैं जब अड्यार में था तो उस दिन अड्यार डे था।
जी सर।
थोड़ा अड्यार की बात करता हूँ।
हम्म।
लकीली उस दिन 17 फरवरी को अड्यार डे था। और
जी
अड्यार डे क्यों था वो भी बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग था कि 17 फरवरी को आई थिंक ऑलकॉट की बर्थडे थी शायद, और एक और किसी।
जी। ऑलकॉट साहब चले गए थे, उनके लेड बिटर साहब का जन्मदिन था।
हाँ, लेड बीटर साहब का
आपके
जन्मदिन
पूरा।
था।
हाँ,
और
दोनों
इवन
बेचारे चले गए थे।
कृष्णामूर्ति भी 17 फेब 86 को गए थे।
जी
तो ऐसे तीन चार ऐसे कोइंसिडेंस से। तो लकीली उस दिन मैं भी अड्यार में था, और वहाँ शाम को एक प्रोग्राम हुआ था, और वो बहुत बढ़िया प्रोग्राम था। तो वहाँ पर जयश्री जी हैं, लाइब्रेरियन। मैं तो
हम्म।
आपको रिकमेंड करूंगा, वो प्रोग्राम देखिए यूट्यूब चैनल पे, थियोसफी सोसाइटी अड्यार के चैनल पे वो पोस्ट किया हुआ है। उसको मैं थोड़ा
जी।
एडिट कर रहा हूँ। उसको मैं
हम्म।
एडिट करके थोड़ा और अच्छा इम्प्रूव करके बनाऊंगा, क्योंकि वो जो रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहे थे इतनी बढ़िया रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं करी। तो मैं उस
जी
पर थोड़ा काम कर रहा हूँ, मेरे को कुछ घंटे लगेंगे। तो वो जो जयश्री जी हैं वो एक बहुत बढ़िया तो एक सिंगर है,
जी।
और उनका जो मंत्र उच्चारण है वो बहुत बढ़िया है।
जी यहाँ सुना सर उनको बहुत।
हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया गाती हैं। तो उनने।
उज्जैन आई थी वो। उज्जैन आई थी वो। उन्होंने
अच्छा।
मंत्रोच्चारण किया था।
अरे वाह, बहुत बहुत ही बढ़िया। तो मैं उनको यहाँ पूना लाने की बात करी है, वो शी इज एग्रीइंग टू कम। तो मेरे को बात करनी है कि हम उनको
जी।
यहाँ ला सकते हैं। तो एक आध प्रोग्राम हम यहाँ कर दें। तो उनने एक प्रोग्राम डाला किया था, उसमें था भगवत गीता, कबीर और कृष्णमूर्ति का सूत्र सूत्र था। उनने उनको तीनों को कनेक्ट करके एक प्रोग्राम बनाया था। उनने गीता के कुछ दोहे गाए थे और कुछ उनने कबीर के दोहे गाए थे,
जी।
और उनको तीनों से कनेक्ट किया था, कृष्णमूर्ति से गीता को, उन तीनों को कनेक्ट करके उनने बहुत ही सुंदर गाया था। एंड इट
हम्म,
वाज वेरी mesmerizing there, though when you see on YouTube it doesn't appeal so much, so I am trying to edit it to remove something so that we can really enjoy her singing. तो
तो
वो
सर
एक
उसको
बढ़िया।
एडिट करिए और यूट्यूब पर डाल दीजिए तो हम लोग भी उसका लाभ ले सकें।
मैं अपने चैनल पे उसको डालूंगा,
ठीक।
और पर वो आप, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, आप अभी भी उसको सुन सकते हो, थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी अड्यार पे, वो अभी लेटेस्ट वही डाला हुआ है। तो उस पे आप
अच्छा सर।
जाके थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी अड्यार के चैनल पे आप जाके वो सुन सकते हो। तो वो
जी।
वो एक बहुत बढ़िया एक्सपीरियंस हुआ था मेरे को। और
जी।
मैं ये भी बोलूंगा, अगर आपको स्पिरिचुअल डेवलपमेंट करना है, अगर आपको
जी।
कुछ टाइम सपोज लगता है कि आपको एक रिट्रीट करनी चाहिए, तो
जी।
मैं स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड करूंगा अड्यार जाओ आप। आपको
जी।
सबको मैं रिकमेंड करूंगा अड्यार किसी प्रोग्राम में मत जाओ।
हम्म।
आप अड्यार ऐसी कुछ 2 वीक के लिए जाओ, जहां आप अपना खुद आत्मचिंतन करो, डू योर सेल्फ इंक्वायरी। और यू कैन ऑल्सो गो टू कृष्णमूर्ति फाउंडेशन इन चेन्नई। आई वेंट टू कृष्णमूर्ति फाउंडेशन ऑल्सो फॉर 1 वीक एंड आई वॉज इन अड्यार फॉर 2 वीक्स,
अच्छा।
एंड बोथ आर, जस्ट गो, डोंट टेक पार्ट इन एनी प्रोग्राम।
जी। वैसे प्रोग्राम में तो कई बार जाना हुआ अडयार में, और वो कृष्णमूर्ति फाउंडेशन भी गए, बनारस में भी और अडयार में भी।
जी।
जी, जाना
बट
तो हुआ वैसे 4-6 बार।
प्रोग्राम में आपको टाइम नहीं मिलता अपना
जी।
सेल्फ इंक्वायरी करने का।
वैसे अदरवाइज बिना प्रोग्राम के वहाँ स्टे परमिट करते हैं क्या,
हाँ
ये नहीं
करेंगे
मालूम था।
करेंगे, क्यों नहीं करेंगे। अगर
तो
आप
पहले।
आप सेल्फ इंक्वायरी के लिए जा रहे हो फॉर सेल्फ स्टडी,
जी।
कृष्णामूर्ति में तो सेल्फ स्टडी के लिए ही बुलाते हैं, रिट्रीट तो
नहीं।
होती नहीं है।
जी।
बट पूना वाले में रिट्रीट होती है, पूना में सह्याद्री में जो KFI
जी।
है, वहाँ
जी।
रिट्रीट होती है। बट
अच्छा।
मैं अभी KFI भी, पूना वाले में भी जा रहा हूँ नेक्स्ट वीक 5 दिन के लिए।
अच्छा।
और यहाँ पर आप जितना टाइम स्पेंड करोगे उतना
हम्म।
फास्टर यू विल, आई वुड से नॉट यूज अ वर्ड रिकवर,
हम्म।
यू विल लर्न इट वेरी फास्ट।
बिल्कुल।
So I strongly recommend my net outcome of my visit is I'm sharing. Both the places are wonderful, and I'll tell you they are better than all my Himalayan travel.
ट्राई
They
करेंगे सर,
जो
ट्राई करेंगे जाने का।
आश्रम में जो मैं रहा हूँ, इतने सारे आश्रम में रहा हूँ, किसी किसी आश्रम में मैं 3-3 महीने रहा हूँ।
हम्म।
Theosophical Society, International Headquarter, and Krishnamurti Foundation, both
जी।
are amazing
ओके।
for self-inquiry.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
Any other question? शीतल जी, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है?
हाँ हाँ। नो सर, ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन तो नहीं है मेरा।
जी
हेलो।
जी।
हाँ। तो लेकिन जैसे आप कहते हैं कि अटैचमेंट्स कम करनी चाहिए,
हम्म,
तो उसे मैं डिटैच अटैचमेंट कहूंगी कि वैसे अगर हमने अपने आप को ढाल दिया तो हम काफी कुछ अचीव कर पाएंगे।
जी।
वैसे उसी दिशा में प्रयोग शुरू है मेरे, लाइफ लॉन्ग शुरू रहते हैं।
ग्रेट।
लेकिन वो एक बहुत अच्छा शब्द है, अच्छा अर्थ है, अच्छा कर्म है
जी।
करने के लिए, ऐसा मुझे लगता है।
हाँ, देखिए, पहले तो हम एफर्ट करते हैं बट हमारा ध्यान बहुत ज्यादा इधर उधर भटका होता है। फिर एक टाइम आता है, हमें लगता है इसमें थोड़ा ज्यादा एफर्ट करना है। फिर एक टाइम आता है, हम थोड़ा यात्रा भी करना शुरू कर देते हैं उसको लेके। तो हाँ, एक बैलेंस रख के चलना है, जो प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल है, जो कर सकते हैं। ये जो हमारे जो ट्रैवल होते हैं, हर एक के लिए पॉसिबल नहीं है कि हर एक कोई ट्रैवल कर पाए। बट वही है, प्रायोरिटी वाली बात है। अगर निकाल के कर लें तो एक दिशा मिलती है, एक थोड़ा पुश मिलता है उस डायरेक्शन में। बट एक और, आई वोंट से देयर अ प्रॉब्लम विच इज एसोसिएटेड विद दिस, आई वुड से, तो हमारा तो स्पिरिचुअल डेवलपमेंट हो जाता है, बट हमारे से बहुत लोग कट ऑफ हो जाते हैं। आपको पीस ऑफ माइंड के
डजंट
साथ।
माइंड। एक्चुअली एक्चुअली हमें अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि न्यूसेंस वैल्यू बढ़ जाती है, नहीं तो
जी
उससे अच्छा वो कट ऑफ है।
जी
तो ज्यादा शांति है।
बिल्कुल।
और हम अपने इसमें ज्यादा अग्रसर हो सकते हैं
जी
और शांति से, क्योंकि मैं तो बहुत अनुभव मैंने अभी आजकल मेरे में बहुत समय मिलता है मुझे रिटायरमेंट के बाद से।
बिल्कुल।
तो लेकिन उसके पहले भी मैंने किया, तो भी जो कहते हैं कि ज्यादा पहचान ना रखे या ज्यादा घुल मिल नहीं जाए तो भी चलेगा, लेकिन
जी
अगर अपने को ऊपर से संतान बनना है ऊपर वाले से, तो सब लोग नहीं चाहिए।
यस इफ यू
ये
सी।
मेरा यानी अनुभव भी है,
हाँ
स्ट्रांगली मानना है।
जी
और कुछ नहीं अड़ता, कुछ नहीं अड़ता, क्योंकि
जी
जब हम एकाग्र होते हैं ना, अपने आप सभी चीजें हो जाती है।
जी जी
वो हमारे सामने वैसे ऐसे आ जाती है जैसे उसने ही भेजा है ये सब करने के लिए।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
तो ही इज टेकिंग केयर ऑफ अस। ये जब हम अनुभव करते हैं तो वो अनुभव ज्यादा अच्छा होता है।
Beautiful, beautiful. This path is self-motivating, self-inspiring when we start treading it, when we start walking on this path. तो इसमें ये अनुभव अपने होने लगते हैं कि हम एक्चुअली कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं। हमें अपने को वही करना है जो हमें भगवान ने करने के लिए भेजा है। बाकी वो प्रकृति ही सब कुछ कर देती है। प्रकृति बनी ही ऐसी है। भगवान ने कोई ऐसा थोड़ी बना के भेजा कि इंसान को कुछ हटके करना पड़ेगा। भगवान ने तो भेजा, तो मैंने सब कुछ प्रकृति में दे दिया है, फल भी दे दिए हैं। अब आप पहाड़ जंगल में जाओ तो वहां क्या कोई किसान थोड़ी उगा रहा है। जितनी ग्रीनरी भगवान ने दी है वो इंसान तो बना भी नहीं सकता। इंसान कोई जंगल उगा सकता है? भगवान ने तो पूरा जंगल उगा
और
दिया। जी।
लेकिन कर्म करने के हमें जो कर्तव्य कर्म
हाँ कर्तव्य
है
करना है तो हमें
उन्हें
कर्तव्य निष्ठ होना है।
हमें जरूर करना है।
जी।
इस बात को भी ध्यान रखना
हाँ तो
है।
कर्तव्य। हाँ हेलो। हाँ, अब कर्तव्य क्या करना है वही हमें उस पर ही ध्यान देना है बस, कि हमारा कर्तव्य क्या है। क्योंकि हम इंसान है, एक समाज है, समाज में रहते हैं। तो हमारा क्या कर्तव्य है, हमने जो सामाजिक व्यवस्था बनाई है। अब जैसे भगवान राम को मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम क्यों बोलते थे, उनने क्यों मर्यादा बताने के लिए आए हैं हम, कि हम समाज में कैसे जीना है। नारी का क्या अस्तित्व है, पुरुष का क्या अस्तित्व है। नारी की मर्यादा सीता जी ने बताई, पुरुष की मर्यादा भगवान ने राम ने बताई। हनुमान जी ने भी एक मर्यादा बताई सेवा की। सो ये सब मर्यादाएं जो हमारी सीमा है, किस सीमा में हमें रहना है, व्हाट आर आर लिमिट्स, दिस वॉज टॉट बाय लॉर्ड। भगवान कृष्ण दूसरे फॉर्म में आए। उनने अलग तरह से एज अ नटखट, एज अ प्लेफुल चाइल्ड ही टोल्ड व्हाट इज लव एक्चुअली। कृष्ण मूर्ति जी अलग फॉर्म में आए, ब्लावट्सकी जी अलग फॉर्म में आए। ये सब अलग अलग फॉर्म में आके हमें अलग अलग तरह से बताया। कृष्णमूर्ति जी ने बहुत प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज दी आके, बिकॉज आज की तारीख में आज के हिसाब से देनी है नॉलेज। अब कृष्णमूर्ति जी को भी इतने साल हो गए, अब हमें उसको आज के हिसाब से आज की लैंग्वेज में समझना है। तो हमें ये सत्संग कांस्टेंट होना चाहिए। और जब हम अलग हो जाते हैं लोगों से,
अच्छा,
जो इस तरह के लोग अलग हो जाते हैं, तो वो अच्छा ही है, हमें रियलाइज होता है कि हमें शांति मिल गई है। ये लोग तो, और हम जब व्हेन वी टॉक टू अदर्स वी आर ओनली गॉसिपिंग, नो, किसी की बुराई तो कर रहे हैं, किसी की बुराई तो कर रहे हैं।
हाँ जी, लेकिन आपने जो बताया
जी
कि कैसे बाहर आना है, तो हमारे कर्तव्यों को यानी ड्यू कर्तव्य क्या है, इन लोग इसको हमने समझना है। ये जो आपने बात बताई कि हम हर किसी के कर्म में कर्तव्य समझते जा रहे हैं, तो वो भी गलत है। तो हमने कहीं से भी अपने को रोकना है और हमारे कर्तव्य कहाँ तक सीमित है, बस उतना ध्यान देना है। लेकिन हम वो नहीं कर पाते। हम हर हर चीज एक की, हर बच्चे की चिंता करते रहते हैं, और हर एक में नहीं नहीं इसका कैसे होगा, उसका कैसे होगा, वो कैसे होगा, इसमें जो जा रहे हैं। तो उसे हमें कंट्रोल करना चाहिए। ये अभी अभी मुझे 67 साल में समझ में आता है।
देखिए,
टाइम लगा बहुत।
देखिए ये कुछ एज जो है ना हमारी, ये फिजिकल एज है बॉडी की। जो हमारी सोल की एज है वो तो हमें भी नहीं मालूम। तो हम उसको जब अपनी बॉडी से कनेक्ट करते हैं तो फिर गड़बड़ हो जाती है। अभी हमें कोई 25 साल का भी आदमी मिलता है, इंसान मिलता है, जो बहुत ये वाली थिंकिंग में चला जाता है। तो ये तो बॉडी की एज है, और बॉडी से तो, इस बॉडी से भी अलग हो जाना चाहिए इंसान को। जो अल्टीमेट वैराग है, इसमें बॉडी से भी कोई कनेक्शन नहीं रहना चाहिए। तो बॉडी भी एक मजाक लगती है, लेकिन
सही सही
एक
बात।
कोई संत बोले थे, ये बॉडी तो एक घर है जो हम लेके चल रहे हैं। कभी इसमें ये जैसे घर में पाइप लीक होता है उसको रिपेयर करते हैं, यहाँ भी कुछ ना कुछ लीक होता है उसको हम रिपेयर कर देते हैं। तो ये तो एक शरीर है जो भगवान ने दिया है, जिससे हम, एज somebody said that consciousness needs this body. We need this, we have got this body to experience earth, have a earth experience. And if you look at theosophical teachings, they have those 7 planes. We are in a certain dimension, and in this dimension we are here through this body to experience on this planet. After this we will go to different dimension, probably based on our karma, based on our understanding, our mental, we are living at a gross level right now. But if you right now go to the mental level and leave the gross level, don't give importance to the gross level, then you will understand that how, what is the deeper meaning of our existence. And ये सब सुपरफिशियल है, कौन क्या कर रहा है, हम इसी में उलझे रहेंगे। अगर इसी में उलझे उलझे चले गए तो क्या अचीव करेंगे? जब मरते टाइम जब देखेंगे तो पूरी रिकॉर्डिंग दिखाई जाती है, कहते हैं पूरा फ्लैशबैक चलता है, और पूरे फ्लैशबैक में लेकर अरे हम इस वी आर एंगेज इन दिस काइंड ऑफ एंटेंगलमेंट लाइक अ स्पाइडर। वी डोंट हैव टू बी अ स्पाइडर हु स्पिनिंग अ वेब एंड उसी में सब फंसे जा रहे हैं। हम अपने ही, लाइक वी ऑल्सो से दैट पीपल व्हेन दे डिग पिच, वो गड्ढा खोदता है, वो उसी में घुस जाता है। जो दूसरे के लिए गड्ढा खोदता है वो अपने खोदे हुए गड्ढे में घुस ही वो डूब जाता है। बिकॉज ये कोई ऐसे नहीं बोलते लोग, ये आउट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस पीपल से दिस। अब कबीर के जितने दोहे हैं, इतने छोटे छोटे से हैं, बट देखो वो सब, कोई भी कुछ गलत नहीं बोल रहा। वो दोहे में कबीर ने कुछ भी गलत नहीं बोला है, वो सब होता है, बट हम उस पर हम कभी चिंतन ही नहीं करते ना। तो आप जैसे बोल रही हैं, मैं तो ये मैं 59 का हो जाऊंगा अभी 6 दिन बाद, 7 दिन बाद। मेरा भी लेट ही शुरू हुआ, किसी किसी का जल्दी शुरू हो जाता है, तो उसकी तो चिंता ही नहीं करनी है। अब कितनी स्पीड से हम कर सकते हैं, उसको ही करना चाहिए। बट वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टू हियर यू शीतल जी, दैट वेरी पॉजिटिव
थैंक यू।
व्यूज फ्रॉम यू।
थैंक यू।
एंड
अगले इसमें माइंड के बारे में सुनने को अच्छा लगेगा।
हाँ, माइंड के बारे में हम लंबा भी बात कर सकते हैं, बट आप अपना व्यू बताएंगे सोच के तो मजा आएगा। मैंने तो एक टॉपिक दे दिया कि आप जाके इस पे सोचिए माइंड पे। और ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो हम अगले अगले सेशन में डिस्कस करते हैं कि उसके नेक्स्ट सेक्शन में हम अटैचमेंट के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं। अटैचमेंट कैसे हमें इम्पैक्ट करते हैं, वो भी एक चीज हम डिस्कस, मे बी वी कैन डिस्कस माइंड एंड अटैचमेंट बोथ इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन वेर यू डू सम कंटेम्पलेशन। बिकॉज ये तो डिस्कशन है एक्चुअली, ये तो हमने एक वो डिस्कशन ओपन कर दिया बॉक्स। नाउ इट इज ओपन फॉर एवरीबडी टू एंगेज एंड गिव व्हाट दे आर डूइंग अबाउट दिस, तो मजा आएगा।
यस सर।
विलास जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे? Mr. Vilas, you want to say something? You are on mute. Anyone else want to say? Maruti ji, any advice? Varsha ji, anything you want to say?
Next time.
Okay. Varsha ji out हो गई लगता है. Okay, then if anybody else has anything, then otherwise we can close this session. Avinash ji, आपको कुछ? Okay, I am stopping the recording and we can probably close this session. Preeti ji, anything you have? आप नहीं आई यहाँ पर क्लास में, उधर से ही सुन रही हैं.
नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते प्रीति, कैसे हो आप?
ठीक है, अच्छे, अच्छा लगा आज का सेशन।
ओके, चलिए, आपको कोई कमेंट देना है, कोई फीडबैक देना है?
फीडबैक अच्छा, अभी तो मैं समझ रही हूँ, अंडरस्टैंड कर रही हूँ।
ओके ओके ओके, ठीक है ठीक है, चलिए
मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है ये।
चलिए, गुड गुड गुड. Okay, then thanks everyone. We can close it, and we'll meet next Saturday, and we'll discuss on mind and attachment. And I would request that if others can speak on attachment, so that then we can slowly move on other areas. Okay, thanks. Namaste. Om. We'll do Om chanting. Om.